Good morning, y'all. Now this morning I'm in Fort Valley, Georgia. Now Fort Valley is the county seat of Peach County. But Fort Valley was around long before Peach County existed. Peach County didn't come into existence until 1926, but Fort Valley has been around since the 1820s. Interesting fact about Fort Valley, even though it's named Fort Valley, there was never actually a fort here. Let me correct myself. I think I said Peach County was created in 1926. It was actually 1924. But there are a couple of schools of thought on how Fort Valley got its name. One is that the original settlement was actually Fox Valley, and the postal workers kept mispronouncing or mislabeling as Fort Valley. The other school of thought is that it was named after Arthur Fort, a Revolutionary War hero, which I find that one a little bit more feasible, and I lean toward that being the actual origin of the name. I wasn't around at the time, so I don't know, but it just sounds more feasible to me than, because Fox and Fort don't even sound alike. Now, Fort Valley has a lot of very interesting buildings and a lot of very old buildings. In 1975, I believe it was, a tornado came through, a category 3, and did a lot of damage to the buildings downtown. 2 people were killed and 50 were injured. So there was a lot of reconstruction, but a lot of these buildings are still from the 1800s and early 1900s. We're going to walk around and take a look. There are a few interesting facts. There's some things I want to point out here. Take a look at the old railroad. There's a railroad depot down here. Beautiful church up the way. Come on and go with me. Let's take a look. One thing I love about these small towns are these murals that they have painted. They're just beautiful to me. I mean, isn't that really, that's lovely. I mean, it's just a positive, a nice, kind of an uplifting mural. Beautiful. I love the flowers, the butterflies, and it says bloom. Bloom where you are planted. And you can bloom anywhere you are. Blossom, bloom, doesn't matter where you are. It's just how you perceive things and how you feel about things and how you react to them. It makes all the difference in the world. Nice gazebo right here in the middle of the town. They don't have any benches, so they don't encourage people to sit here, I guess. This center is placed in honor of Mayor John E. Stumbo, whose progressive and visionary leadership has inspired a whole community. Very nice gazebo. Maybe they have events here. And like most of these towns that I feature, I have been through them countless times, and most of them I have never stopped, never walked around, and my feet have never walked the sidewalks of Fort Valley, nor have I looked around this part of town. Before I go too far into the video and show too much, there was a guy that gave me a shout out on his channel, and I wanted to return the favor. Honestly, I don't know why I didn't think about doing it before, because I would have given him a shout out regardless, because he has an amazing channel. He's an encyclopedia of knowledge, facts, and really a wonderful storyteller. It's Quackers World. And this is his channel right here, Quackers World. I'm going to put a link to his channel in my description. Do yourself a favor, go check it out. You won't be disappointed. The first video I saw of his was titled "The Time I Paid $25,000 for a Sandwich." Now, I may not have got that title exactly right. His storytelling was on point. It was super interesting, and it gave me some insight to a piece of history that I remember that I didn't know where it came from or anything about it, and he was involved in that. But all of his videos are super interesting, and I highly recommend, if you mildly like my videos, you're gonna love his, because he does a phenomenal job. Go check him out. Subscribe to his channel. He's growing his channel, and if anybody deserves to have a channel to grow, it's Quackers World. Check him out. Here in the downtown, you can see the contrast of new buildings and old, and you can see where a lot of reconstruction has been done. Some of these are not nearly as old as others, but it still maintains a lot of its integrity. Now, this is the Austin Theater. Now, this building stood vacant for over 30 years before being revitalized, and is now a historically significant building downtown and part of the town's history, and it's actually in use now. And that's a wonderful thing, that it was actually revitalized and put back into use. That is an amazing building. A lot of these small towns, you don't really see very many people out. We're not going to see very many this morning for sure, because it's early Sunday morning. I got here quite early before it got so hot, and so far I haven't seen anyone on the street. I'm trying to incorporate more of the locals into the videos, or try to incorporate more, but it's a little bit difficult. And maybe only in tourist towns there are a lot of people, and some of those people are quite reluctant to talk to you. Maybe we'll run into somebody, we'll see, hopefully. Now, Fort Valley is a big reason that Georgia is called the Peach State. Fort Valley is considered, or was considered, the peach capital of Georgia. And one reason for that, like a lot of small towns, is the railroad. When the railroad came through, it allowed Fort Valley to be able to transport their goods all over the country, and transformed the area into what's known as the Peach State, because a lot of it's the peach capital of Georgia. A lot of peaches are grown here. Still today, it is a peach growing area. You see the water tank there features Georgia's Peach City. Walk down here at this railroad depot. This building is one of the original. It looks like it's in pretty bad shape. In its heyday, you can tell this was a really nice depot, but it is really deteriorating. Yeah, it's not being used. I thought it might have been, but this building is basically falling apart. I don't know if y'all can see the inside. Pretty dark in there. But this would be one of the original railroad depot here in Fort Valley. It's kind of a shame to see it in the state it's in. I don't think it has many more years left of those old doors there. And apparently those are roll-up sliding doors, overhead doors, even though they don't look like they would be. That would be some of the original overhead doors made out of wood. That's a shame, and I'm sure it was quite a building in its day. Always graffiti. Always graffiti. Let's see if we can get a shot in here. Maybe. The electrical panels there. The old tongue and groove pine board siding on the walls and on the ceiling. Get a shot here. Maybe nobody will come and say anything to me about being in the... I can't see in there. I'll see it when I edit. Hopefully it's where y'all can see it. Someone has cut the old iron bars. Continuing on with the railroad. Now this building has a sign, Fort Valley Historic Switching Station. Now it's a business center. And you can tell that it is part of the railroad just by the design. With the number of buildings associated with the railroad, just how important the railroad was and still is to Fort Valley to some degree. The old gate here, number 3. Apparently this is now a restaurant. Fresh cinnamon rolls, hot fresh cinnamon rolls. Sounds good to me. There's some beautiful homes here too. Maybe I can get a couple of those in. Now, Fort Valley is the home of the original Peach Blossom Festival. They have the Peach Blossom Festival over in Macon, Georgia now. I assume that they still do. They did. They have had it for years. But originally it started in Fort Valley from 1922 to 1926. And the reason they discontinued it here in Fort Valley is because it became too successful. Isn't that something? They said as many as 40,000 people would show up here in Fort Valley for the Peach Blossom Festival, and it just got to where the city was overwhelmed with visitors, so they discontinued it, which is something. For 1922 and 1926 to have 40,000 people show up. That's really something. Here again, mixture of more modern and old in the buildings. Let me get back to the downtown, get back into the buildings and show you all the area. I think I've been talking more than anything this morning. I hope I haven't been boring you. Hopefully not. These hanging baskets on these lampposts is a nice touch. They have those all along here. You know, I walked by that little fountain a little bit ago earlier and I didn't even notice it. I really was talking too much. Now, Fort Valley is home to Fort Valley State University. That building is the Center for Student Engagement for Fort Valley University. Now, Fort Valley University is a historically black college. One of my sons actually attended the university for a period of time. Those are quite some unusual street lights. Reminds me of a lampshade. And that building right there says the Masonic Temple, 1897. Now this building also, I guess it's just a continuation of the same building, the Masonic Temple, because it has the symbols at the top, like this one does, that is dated 1897. Now look at this house right here in town. Now back in its day, that would be a mansion. It's still a beautiful building. It definitely needs some TLC. Someone lives there now, it appears. I want to showcase this police department here. This is an unusual police department as well. Quite a unusual design. Talking about Quackers earlier, he mentioned in my last video, he pointed out how unusual the police department was in Manchester, and I didn't even focus on it. Matter of fact, I didn't even notice the building. I think I was too hungry and too hot at the time. I walked right past it and didn't even pay it any attention until I started editing. So I definitely want to get that one in because it is unusual, a little different. Now also, the courthouse. It's quite a contrast from most of these small town courthouses. I love the design up top though with the peach. That's beautiful. I want to walk down the street and show some of these houses. There are 2 or 3 that are for sale. I'll put that I'll include that in the video. I'll put the information just in case anybody's interested in maybe moving to the area and would like to live in a historic home. There's some of them here. I'm just walking down just outside of town. This is now Rook's funeral home, but look at this house right here. Oh my goodness. Isn't this an amazing home? It is massive. It's beautiful. I can't even imagine living here. That is something else. Wow, what a house. What a beautiful, beautiful home. It's early Sunday morning, so services will probably be starting soon for the church. So I want to go ahead and get this in the video because I don't want to be disturbing people when they're trying to go to church. This is the Methodist Church here in Fort Valley. And the stained glass windows always intrigue me. They are always just not only is the building fascinating and beautiful, stained glass windows are also just something unusual to me. They're very beautiful. I got the church in just in time. People are just now starting to show up, so I'm glad I got it when I did. Right up here is one of the homes that's for sale. There are like 2 or 3 along this street, and I'll include the realtor sign just in case anybody's interested. Now this one is an Airbnb, Chateau Church Street. Enjoy your stay, and it is for sale. MIH Realty and Investors. So I'll just put that in there so y'all can see it. Maybe somebody's interested in having an Airbnb or just maybe moving to Fort Valley. Here are a couple more historic homes for sale. And this one is Next Home 180 Degree Realty. And I'll just put that in there for a minute. There's one more across the street. I'm not trying to sell houses. I don't have no dog in the hunt, but they are for sale, and there's some beautiful properties. And that one says, "I'm gorgeous inside." I would imagine it is. It's gorgeous on the outside to me. Well, since I'm walking, I see one more up here for sale. I'm going to get it too since it's right across the street. I might as well. I mean, you would think that I was a real estate agent trying to sell something, but I'm not. They're just beautiful. There are quite a few homes along this street for sale. All historic homes. Now this one really catches my eye. What a beautiful house. Well, that's going to just about do it for houses for sale here in Fort Valley. Like I said, you would think I was trying to sell a house, but I'm not. They're just for sale. So, you know, you never know. I had somebody comment in a video that they appreciated me showing these towns because they were thinking about moving to the area. On one of my videos I did. So, you know, if it helps somebody out, if maybe you're looking for a house, it kind of gives you a general idea of what's here, what's for sale. You know, if it helps somebody out, I'm happy to do it. I just had a very interesting conversation with a local woman here, and unfortunately she did not want to be on camera. And that's one thing I find in these small towns. You have to coax people a lot of times to be on camera. I encouraged her, I tried to encourage her, and she was like, no, I don't want to be on camera. And I hate that. That's why it's really difficult to get people in these small towns to open up or to talk to you. Now, I have found a few, and I'm really grateful for the ones that do. I think it makes the video more interesting. It makes my time of making the video more interesting. We had a good conversation, but she just did not want to be on video. Oh well, maybe I'll come across somebody yet. We'll see. Pretty black cat. I had a black cat. Her name was Nala, and I just lost her not too long ago. And every time I see a black cat, it tugs at my heartstrings a little bit. Now here's another beautiful church here in Fort Valley. It's a Presbyterian church. I just love the designs. The stained glass windows are, like I say, always fascinating and beautiful. And the bell tower, even the steeples, or however they're designed, they're always beautiful. You would think that I was maybe promoting religion or what have you. It has nothing to do with that. It's just the buildings themselves are usually some of the most elaborate, some of the most beautiful buildings in town. So that's why I always like to put the churches in there, because those buildings stand out, and I just love them. I love the way they're made, love everything about them. One thing I can't believe I forgot to mention is, if you grew up riding a school bus in America, you have a connection to Fort Valley, because Bluebird Bus Company was founded here in Fort Valley, and they still have their corporate headquarters here. So a lot of Bluebird buses, which is the #1 manufacturer of buses in America, is here in Fort Valley. And I know in the past they have created a lot of well-paying, good-paying jobs for people here in the state. Bluebird was one of the more desirable places to work because of pay in the past. That's just about going to do it for this one. I hope this video hasn't been too disjointed and all over the place. But until next time, I'm Red. Keep exploring. And as always, I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to go check out Quackers World, and you'll have an amazing day. Until next time, I'll see you.